You're watching OCU TV.
Welcome to this special edition of News on the Twos. I'm Rachel Morse. Today, News on the Twos and Media OCU have come together to bring the student body an SGA presidential candidate debate. Over the past week, we've asked you to tweet in your questions, and you listened. We will also be taking questions from our live studio audience. Now, let me introduce this year's presidential candidates. Beatrice Martinez, Justice Studies and Economics Junior. Kate Adams, Business Marketing and Mass Communications Junior. Terrence Kraft, Mass Communications Sophomore. Sharon Berry Davis, Justice Studies and Computer Science Junior. And Mitch Thrower, Economics and Finance Junior. Welcome, candidates. All right, so for the first part of today's debate, we will hear opening statements from each of the candidates. Ms. Adams, we will start with you.
Thank you, Rachel. As Rachel said, my name is Kate Adams, and I am a business marketing, advertising, and public relations major. The slogan I have chosen for my campaign is connecting all stars together. The ways that I plan to do this is through communication, increasing our communication both internally within SGA and externally with you, the students. Also, the plans that I have to implement this is to improve our text alert system, as we saw that has room for improvement. Also, our Wi-Fi and email, and utilize social media and apps. Other ways that I want to do this is leadership. I believe that effective leadership is crucial to having a successful organization, and I believe that I have the leadership experience and credentials to lead not only SGA but also the student body. Next is service. I believe that this is pretty straightforward. SGA is here to serve you, the students. And lastly, integrity. It's like Nike says, just do it. So, through these 4 points, I believe that I am more than able to lead our next student body in SGA. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Berry Davis.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon Berry Davis. I am a junior computer science and justice studies double major here at OCU. The platform that I've chosen to run off of is Be the Change That You Wish to See. For too long, we've had many candidates. We come and we speak about the things that we want to get done and the new initiatives. However, we haven't completed the things that are already on the table. My goal is to firstly complete the things that have been put forth by the students and by Student Government Association in the past. My second goal would be to make Student Government Association more inclusive to student organizations regardless of what size that they are. My third goal would be to create a clearer voice for the campus and the campus community as a whole. My fourth goal would then be to create a SGA scholarship fund in order to help students on campus to stay in school and actually give their money back to them. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Berry Davis. Next, we will hear an opening statement from Mr. Terrence Kraft.
Thank you, Rachel. Hello, everyone. My name is Terrence Kraft, and I'm a mass communications sophomore. And my platform is really simple. It's listening to the student body. And how I would do that is that I will innovate your ideas concerning what you think your campus should be because it's your school. I will fight to ensure that your money is being allocated with your interests in mind. And I will also actively seek out the diverse voices on this campus because it's your voice that matters. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kraft. Next, Ms. Martinez.
All right, thank you. The time is always right to do the right thing. My platform is about integrity, not for things to just look good, but to actually be good, internally and externally through SGA, and for students to feel like they can actually come to us. Communication, gathering qualitative and quantitative research through the use of the website that definitely needs to be up now. For the past years, it hasn't been up, and through that we can have surveys, we can have progress of all the initiatives that have happened in the past and the ones that we need to implement based on the list of student initiatives and problems that we currently face that I have a list of. And access to it 24/7. That's the best way to communicate. Having a website, people can look at it when they feel like they want to see what's going on, and respect. First, I think the best way to have respect between organizations is to start having SGA think about ways that they can fundraise to add to the allotments, to add to the appropriations, to have more money to give back to the students. If we were to fundraise just as organizations are asked to do, I think we could gain some more respect. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Martinez. And finally, Mr. Thrower.
Hi, I'm Mitch Thrower, and I believe that OCU students are ready for a higher level of responsibility. I want to give the tools to do that to them. I would like to increase campus sustainability through offering more recycling. I believe that students will throw away their garbage if it's convenient for them. I would like to make it convenient for them. Along with that, I'd also like to do more for the Wi-Fi. I know that we are right now working on Wi-Fi in Cokesbury, but I want to make sure that that is absolutely done in a timely manner. Now, I will also, along with the responsibility of students, I would like to give them the ability to smoke on campus in designated areas. Now, these areas would not be in the place where they would bother a non-smoker, but it gives that smoker a place to throw away their garbage and sit and have a cigarette and not hurt anyone. Along with that, alcohol policy. Right now, our alcohol policy doesn't work. We cannot even convince all the RAs to follow that policy. Now, I believe that students are ready for that, for real responsibility on this campus. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thrower. And thank you all candidates for your opening statements. Now next, we will, for this portion of the debate, we will present candidates with a group of issues and we'll allow each candidate the opportunity to address these issues. The initial statement on the issue that each of you will be given will be 1 minute each. Now we're gonna start with Mr. Thrower, Ms. Adams, and Mr. Kraft. And the topic is campaign promises. And we'll start with Mr. Thrower. So, Mr. Thrower, your platform includes a particular item, treating students like adults in regards to alcohol and tobacco use. Given that there are very specific policies, how do you plan to address the student handbook, university officials, and Methodist Church to effectively make change?
It is a big goal that I would like to attain. Treating students like adults shouldn't seem like it should be such a great goal. But what I need is the backing of the students. We need the backing of the students to elect a president that has this in his platform if these policies are ever going to change. Along with that, I will go to the board and just tell them these policies do not work. They're not effective and they need to be changed.
Okay. All right, and next, Ms. Adams. Your platform is connecting all stars, and you were quoted in the campus as saying, you will protect the students' rights. Now, during the candidate forum, you emphasized the university's banana crisis and notification system. Now, could you please speak briefly as to why you chose these two issues to be relevant to student rights?
I've done several things to help the student body and voice their opinions to Senate and also administration. The reason I mentioned the banana crisis is because that is something that we have solved on Senate, and my constituent outreach committee has helped solve that issue, and so shout out to them. But also I've been working on this minor space allocation with Dr. Agee, and I've spoken to President Henry about it as well, and hoping to hopefully find a solution that'll make everyone happy there. The students' rights are what's important, and they're the reason that we're here for SGA.
Okay, awesome. Mr. Kraft, in the candidate forum, you said issues like parking, food, and Wi-Fi went unsolved because the SGA stopped listening. Now, how will you combat SGA's failure to respond if elected?
Basically, thank you, Rachel. That's a great question, by the way. I really believe in the power of referendums. They're in the Constitution and bylaws of student government legislation for a reason. And I believe that if we give the students more power, which they do have, and have them vote, like I sit on Student Service Committee as well as Robin Latt, president, as well as Lucy Liu, and other members of the Business Finance Office. And we get a pool of money that is allocated throughout SGA. Like this year, we had $55,000 left over, which Robin was able to buy weight equipment for dorm rooms, which I'm pretty sure everyone has seen by now. And if students really want more parking, really want better Wi-Fi services and better food, like a Chick-fil-A Express line in Alvin's, then yes, I would petition that committee and say, this is what students want. I would do a referendum to make sure that it's factual, that it's based, because it's time that we listen to them. And I believe that referendums are in the Constitution and bylaws for a reason for students to hear their voice. So if they really do want better things on campus, then I'll make it happen for them by writing a petition to the committee and hopefully get it passed and get that money used, their money, for something that they want.
Okay. Would any of the candidates here like to rebuttal any of the other candidates within this issue? Ms. Adams, Ms. Kraft, and Mr. Thrower for 30 seconds. No?
Yeah.
That's just within that issue, Ms. Martinez. I'm going to transition next into one between you and Mr. Barry Davis.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it for that issue. Thank you very much, candidates, for speaking to that. All right, for our next issue, we will be on the topic of communication, and this will be between Mr. Barry Davis and Ms. Martinez. Now, Mr. Barry Davis, you were asked a question at the candidate forum about your position as head of PR. How would you defend what others have described as a failure to communicate from your office?
Well, a lot of things people speak about is things such as the website. What many people do not know that the website actually had some type of legal issue due to the person who was over it the last time passing away and not being able to do that. So that's a lot of the issues that we've been handling as far as the website. And what really I think people need to understand is things don't happen overnight, especially a website. It takes a lot of coding and hard work. And, you know, I'm a student first, and I make sure that I get my grades and everything, and then, I try my best, because if I'm not a student, how can I help a student? And so really communication is something that I'm going to work on in the future, something I've already been working on as far as posting more things to our SGA Facebook and Twitter, and just trying to get a little bit more information out to the student body as a whole.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Ms. Martinez, your question. In the candidate forum, you said the past leaders weren't failures, but there was a simple lack of communication. Now, how do you plan on improving the system?
I think the best thing on improving the system is, like I said, the website. That really needs to come up and running. If a campaign person who put a website up overnight, Edgar Spillman has put it up overnight, I think that we can get it done. It's just figuring out how much it's going to cost, and it's going to be very beneficial to the student body. I think part of what I've always been an advocate for as a senator is talking to the students and gathering qualitative and quantitative information, actually talking, sit for 5 minutes. However, in the past, I haven't had the support, because in the past, the leaders that I presented this to didn't feel that it would be adequate because the students don't care. And I strongly disagreed, but in my position, I really couldn't do that much about it, being a student athlete involved in Student Senate.
Okay. Would either Mr. Barry Davis or Ms. Martinez like to rebuttal each other for 30 seconds? Yes. Okay, go ahead.
I strongly disagree with the fact that the website can't get put up overnight. If again, Edgar Spillman was able to put it up, and I think that was something that you came into this office knowing that's something that's vital and important, and in communication, you definitely need to branch out, and if you couldn't do it, you should have asked for more help.
All right. Would you like to say anything to that, Mr. Barry Davis?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
The website that you're referencing from Mr. Boyd-Manis is actually a website that takes about 30 seconds to put up, drag and drop, copy and paste. However, this is a website that requires a lot of computer code and HTML and CSS and different protocols and things. The website and everything has been purchased, the domain and everything is purchased. So that's taken care of for up to 5 years. As far as asking for more help, I would like you to know that I have reached out to various heads of SGA and things, and have spoken to them, and they have given the help that I've asked for. And so in regards to it, I just would wish that if in the future any issues like that would come up, for you to speak directly to me.
Okay, so that is all the time we have. Thank you so much, candidates, for that moderated debate time. Now, that's all we have for this segment, and coming up next, your responses when we come back. The candidates will answer questions you tweeted in. Stay with us.
A career shouldn't be a job, it should be a passion. Oklahoma City University Mass Communications Department can be the piece to finding your passion, whether it be advertising, public relations, print, broadcast, or earn a graphic design minor. Professors teach you the skills you need to work in whatever industry you choose. OCU Mass Communications, the puzzle piece to your future.
first it was twice a week. Everybody else was doing it. And one day I just did it all by myself. Now I can't stop.
It makes me feel powerful, you know? Like I can do anything.
It's the ultimate rush.
And every time feels like the first time.
Yeah, it does. You're not alone. It's okay. We've all been there.
My name is Brandon, and I'm hooked on service leadership.
Take the steps to living a better life by volunteering today.
OCU is family. OCU is diverse.
OCU is passionate. OCU is active.
OCU is visionary.
OCU is creative. OCU is tradition. OCU is my school.
My school.
My school. OCU is my school.
Is my school.
OCU is my school.
Well, it's news on the twos for your viewing pleasure. Sports, reports, and even the weather. News you want to hear, so lend an ear. These great reporters make the story clear. If you're a star or just love OCU, then Channel 22 is meant for you. Cause our school is great, it's plain to see. So tune in to OCU TV. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Cause news on the twos is the way to go. Well, that's all from me, and I'll take a bow. Cause news on the twos starts right now.
Welcome back to this special edition of News on the Twos. Now, we've been asking OCU students all week to tweet their questions into the candidates. Now, you guys were listening. Thank you so much. In this segment, we will be asking some of the candidates those specific questions. Now, the first one that we are going to start with is Sharon Berry Davis. Mr. Davis, the students need a listener. They need a doer. What will you do?
Well, the first thing is, like I said, to finish the initiatives that have already been set forth by Student Government Association. The second thing, and actually a great suggestion by presidential candidate Kraft, was to actually ask the students a referendum to see what it is that they want done. And really the third thing, and one of the greatest things, would be to actually create a committee between SGA students and the regular students in order to discuss issues and things that they feel need to be done, in order to just bring it and become more inclusive as an organization. So.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you.
Our next Twitter question we have given to Terrence Kraft. Mr. Kraft, in your opinion, what is the greatest downfall of the current Student Government Association, and what can be done to resolve this?
Wow, another great question. I think the downfall of this current administration from SGA is the fact that there is really a lack of communication between us and the students. I feel like even though, yes, we have done really a lot of great things this year, I cannot honestly say were these things that the students really wanted, or there things that the senators or SAC or exec what they wanted. So how we can fix this is by really doing a referendum and asking students about what they want, because at the end of the day, we represent them.
All right. Thank you for that answer, Mr. Kraft. Okay, our next question is for Ms. Martinez. All right, this tweet said, let's talk about our university's reputation and the huge problems and dollars spent on rebranding. More of a statement, not really a question. Can you talk to that?
Yes, I think that what that really question is asking for is students want to be respected and their money to be respected. And if what we're focusing on is rebranding it, making it look better instead of fixing it from the internal, like the internal issues, respecting students as adults, respecting students, their time in the classroom. If you don't fix those, it doesn't matter what you call our school. People who come and visit me in the bookstore ask me what's so great about this campus. And of course, I communicate the best about it because I love it. But other students not so much, and they talk about the mold in the Walker dorms. They talk about how they had to leave Walker Hall because they had such bad allergies and had to go into a Centennial, and that was such a big issue and it cost more. So I think if we were to fix internally first and see the real figures of how much it's going to cost for rebranding, we can really get something done better than just making it look better by putting some makeup on it.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Martinez, for that answer. Okay, I have a couple more tweets, and these are going to be open. If a candidate would raise their hands, I will call on the first candidate. Okay, so this tweet says, in what instance would you utilize the power of a veto? And let me reference this. President Ladd recently used her veto to send a bill back to Senate because it hadn't been used, they hadn't been using enough money for campus events. Would a candidate like to address this question? Ms. Martinez?
I think because there's a certain time frame that you're allowed to give a veto, if we have the website up and running where hopefully it'll be consistent with asking, having surveys, if we can get student involvement through that where they do a little survey, even if it's only 100 students, those 100 students can make a difference. And if they want to get that survey to say, yes, let's veto this, we want more money, then I think that would be best and show the students that we care.
Great, thank you, Ms. Martinez. Another open question. This one said, law students pay OCU fees, SGA funds. How do you plan to rebuild the SGA-SBA bridge? Mr. Kraft?
Yes, one thing that Student Senate has done this year is, of course, with the hard work of Press Pro Blake Manis, we have came to a simple resolution of a bylaw amendment agreement where we have sat down with the SBA presidents and vice presidents and treasurers and secretaries together from Student Senate and President Ladd and their leadership at SBA and came to agreement which Senate did pass a bylaw amendment. And in that process, we have to review that amendment again next year. So that really stresses the importance of consistency, as myself and Senator Adams, Senator Martinez both know firsthand what's going on with that situation with the law students. So I feel like it is really pertinent that someone who really knows the situation is able to effectively communicate and still build that better bridge between the law students and SGA. But yes, that bridge is being worked on.
Thank you, Mr. Kraft. This is our final Twitter question, and again, this will be open to all candidates. And then we'll move on to audience questions in the next block where they'll be specific for certain candidates. So the final question, what do you know? What will you do to help the university with saving money and budget cutting? Mr. Thrower.
I believe that through good policy, we will see tuition go down, or at least not go up at the same rate. Anybody that promises you that they, as SGA president, can do something directly about tuition is not being honest. But I believe that through good policy, that we will fill up the dorms, more people want to live on campus, and that will not be transferred to the students.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thrower. Thank you, candidates, for your answers to those Twitter questions. And thank you. That's all the time we have for this segment. Stay tuned. We have questions from our live studio audience next.
OCU is smart, fun, cute, driven, so busy, expressive, exciting. But you know this, you go here. OCU is my school.
Starcy's a great mascot. He's very enthusiastic. Sometimes his animal instinct takes over, though.
There are plenty of teams in every sport that have great players and never win titles. Most of the time, those players aren't willing to sacrifice for the greater good of the team. One thing I believe to the fullest is that if you think and achieve as a team, the individual accolades will take care of themselves. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships.
Chet is a 21-year-old college student. Luther is an 11-year-old fifth grader. Chet likes to play frisbee. Luther prefers video games. Chet likes to eat an apple for breakfast. Luther likes to eat sugary cereal. Chet has a girlfriend. Luther thinks girls have cooties. Chet is Luther's big brother. Hundreds of kids are waiting on you to become their big brother or big sister. Contact Big Brothers Big Sisters of Oklahoma today to learn how you can make a difference.
OCU is enlightening. OCU is rigorous.
No, wait, I can do it!
OCU is what you make of it, but for me, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, this is a private party. OCU students only. You understand.
OCU is that open shot to a winning goal.
Countless rehearsals for one flawless routine.
Learning to serve before trying to lead.
Learning a language everyone can understand. OCU is
me.
Me.
Me?
I'm OCU.
I don't work a 9 to 5, but I have a job to do. I don't wear a tie, but I still wear a suit in my court.
My field of work isn't average, and my time around the water cooler is limited.
I work overtime, but the payoff is worth it.
I don't work a 9 to 5, but I have a job to do. I'm an OCU athlete.
I'm an OCU athlete.
I'm an OCU athlete.
I'm an OCU athlete.
Welcome back to this live special edition of News on the Twos. The remaining candidates will have the opportunity to address several of our students that are here as part of the live studio audience. Now we will start with, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Taylor Tyler, and my question is for Mitch Thrower. OCU is 100% owned by the United Methodist Church. The church has a zero tolerance policy against tobacco and alcohol on campus. If you were to change the policy, who do you think will be funding our university?
I believe that we need to go show that by electing me, you show that the students want this change. That these policies, we show that the students say these policies are not effective. They need to change, and they're actually making making them less safe. And that by having effective policy, you make the under 21-year-olds safer, as well as the older 21s responsible for their actions, and with regard to alcohol. And then with tobacco, you make the students responsible for their garbage. And we have a disgusting policy right now of have students throwing their garbage out on the 23rd Street and putting themselves in real danger. I believe that the Methodist Church, when we go to them and show them that these policies are not effective, that they will see that a change needs to be made.
Thank you, Mr. Thrower. And our next question is by
Norna Basic, and this question is from Stephen George, directed at Kate Adams. What plans do you have to make improvements on campus?
Thank you. I have several plans to do improvements. First of all, work on the Minders issue, space allocation issue, so that we can find a happy medium for students and the administration. Also, the text alert system, as I mentioned earlier, it is being worked on, but just making sure the follow-through of that is implemented correctly. Improving our social media use of our SGA social media use is crucial so that we can communicate with students better. And then also working on developing a warning system with the police so that hopefully we can curb some of our ticket issues that have recently increased.
All right, thank you, Ms. Adams. Next question.
Hi, my name is Katie Alsop, and my question is for candidate Kraft. In the past, SGA has used student surveys as a way to shape their policy. How will your referendums idea change the effectiveness of the communication between students and SGA, because the surveys have fallen, unfortunately, completely short of doing what the students want?
Exactly. Yes, that's a great question. Thank you, Katie. During my term so far, I've found actually surveys from 2000s and 2001s and the 90s and a nice little file cabinet that has been kept in folders and which obviously has not been used. But one of the effective referendums that I think was really good was when Vice President Liz Kinney asked the students during homecoming elections of what they wanted Big Event to be. And it was like the most voted, I think, in history of the most voted elections for homecoming, and obviously students wanted to go downtown, Ricktown. So I really think that was showed effectively the power of what a referendum can do and power of voices. And how I make sure that comes across very effectively, because there's like 4,000 students on this campus. Yes, I know that not all of them will actually take time to vote for referendum. That's why I plan to make sure I go to each and every organization, like we did Senate Cake and Meet this Tuesday, and make sure they're informed of the things that's going on campus. So I would really make sure that not only they're informed, I also make sure that they know what's going on and make sure that at least everyone's represented on this campus.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kraft. Next question.
My name is Justice Huddleston. My question's for Ms. Martinez. You mentioned earlier that you were too busy to go around to students because you're an athlete as a senator. How will that change as an attitude if you become president?
I believe that what I had said was that the leaders had said that we are too busy to be able to go and do it. And then I said that myself as a senator, I couldn't do that. And my priorities at the time were reflective of me being a student first and then a student senator and an athlete. And yes, as for next year, I will have plenty of time during the summer to really start getting the initiatives up at the website and really actively gather the information. I really want to talk to students, and I think that they have great information that we can gather, and we definitely need to get off our bottoms and go and do it. But in the past, I haven't had the support of my senators or of the leadership in SGA, so I really think that if I were elected president, I could really do a difference because I would want it to happen.
All right, thank you, Ms. Martinez. Next question.
Hi, I'm David Bishop, and this question is for Mr. Thrower. Mr. Thrower, you haven't been at SGA in your experience at OCU. How would that affect your potential as president and your leadership abilities if you were to be elected?
I would lean more heavily on, I would try to learn as quickly as possible, and I would lean heavily on my vice president, who has to, as a part of the rules, has to have been in SGA before. My biggest things are changing policy, and I would hope that my vice president will help me get that accomplished.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thrower. Any more questions from the audience? No? All right, well, that's it for our question segment. We will end with closing statements from our candidates. This time, we'll start with Mr. Thrower.
All right. I believe that it's time that we were treated like adults. It's time to make a change. I've listened to students for the past 2.5 years. My policies, I believe, are things that students want to have changed, and I make that promise that I will get them accomplished in the best manner that I possibly can.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thrower. Next, Ms. Martinez.
In order to be treated as adults, we need to respect the other adults involved in the funding of this school. And I think that as an SGA candidate, I could really make a difference by actively gathering the information, making it consistent, and really being the voice of the students, because I will continue to ask the students what they want by foot, by hand, by survey. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Kraft.
Students, it's time for a change. I know that all these other candidates can say what they can do for you, but what I can do for you is consistency, as well as leadership and dedication. And because this is your school, it's your money, it's your rights. And I'll be honored, guys, if you let me be your voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kraft. Next, Mr. Barry Davis.
I just would like to say that I would be the change that I wish to see. I would actually be the presidential candidate who would step in and not say the things that I would do, but actually get things done and get them completed. And if you all vote for me, I promise you that that will happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Finally, Ms. Adams.
I'd like to sum up my previous points with a quote from Babe Ruth. He said, "The way a team plays together as a whole determines its success. You may have a great bunch of individual stars in the world, But if you don't play together like a team, your club won't be worth a dime. That's the situation we have here at OCU, and I believe that I have the credentials to pull this team together and make us an awesome club. I ask that you vote for communication, you vote for leadership, you vote for service, and you vote for integrity. Vote Kate Adams. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you, candidates, and thank you, OCU, for your questions and for tuning in to this live special edition of News on the Twos. I'm Rachel Morse. We'll see you next time.